From the dust and the heat, a new fire is born. Where sun-scorched earth meets the eye of the storm. They said ice in the desert, that's a crazy dream. But we're changing the game, building up steam. The sun beats down, but the ice is cold. Where desert-born warriors break the mold. The Basha Perry Bearcats are taking the lead. Brophy Preps Broncos begin to stampede. The Campo Verde Coyotes own the night under the arena lights. We are the ice in the heart of the sand, the fire and ice that you can't contain. From the valley of the sun to the mountain's high peak, this is Arizona hockey. Hear the crowd shriek, the crash of the boards, a deafening sound. This is our house, this is our town. The Centennial Coyotes are ready to attack. Chaparrals, Firebirds, there's no turning back. The Corona Aztecs are carving up the ice. The desert fist of thunder is bringing the spice. A clash of the titans, a battle of might. Skating like lightning in the desert night. We are the ice in the heart of the sand, the fire and ice that you can't contain. From the valley of the sun to the mountain's high peak, this is Arizona hockey. Hear the crowd shriek, the crash of the boards, a deafening sound. This is our house, this is our town. From Flagstaff.
Welcome back to the Ice Den Scottsdale, second night of a weekend full of holiday hockey here in Arizona. Arizona High School hockey, Hamilton, Centennial. My name is Easton Stockton. Alongside me, Matt Shepard, special guest today, coming in on color. And then, of course, as always, Dr. Ben on the sticks. And great matchup coming tonight. Hamilton coming off a huge win on Saturday, 6-1 over Mountain Ridge, who is currently ranked third in the league. A lot of guys out for both sides. And Centennial coming off a loss against Notre Dame in a tough one as Notre Dame is still rolling. Matt, what do you think we can expect in this one?
I think this one's going to be a close one. You've got number 6, you've got number 7. They're both fighting for those spots as we get closer and closer to the tournament. Just 4 games left on the calendar for both teams. I think from Centennial, they'll look to spread out the scoring. They'll look to try and juggle their lines. I don't think you usually see the same lines out of Caleb Drinkhouse 2 games in a row. So I think they'll look to try something different than what went wrong last night against Notre Dame.
Both teams only separated by 2 points. Hamilton at 26, Centennial at 28. Starting goaltenders for the night, Hamilton has Langdon Jankfer between the pipes. He started almost every game, all but 2 for Hamilton. And across from him, Landon Scott getting the nod. Just about 4 goals allowed on average this year. An .875 save percentage, 5-8 on the year. 2 very similar goalies numbers-wise facing off tonight, but teams are lined up. Refs are set, and we are underway here from the Ice Den Scottsdale, and Centennial with possession immediately. Ganesh in the neutral zone, but quickly taken away from him. And now Hartman will pick it up down the left side and send it in deep.
And just like we talked about with Coach Drinkhouse for Centennial changing lines up, it's Terrence O'Sullivan, typically a winger or a defenseman, taking the opening draw there.
And 3 guys who are, here's Ganesh with a chance on the high slot, but that's stopped by Jake. But 3 guys who are 3 of the top scorers for the Centennial squad. Here's Mirage now down the right side. He had a hat trick and an assist to boot in the win last night. And he tends to handle that puck quite often, and he likes to hold on to it as well. As O'Sullivan with a block on the point there on Brown, but can't quite get around him as Hamilton will send this one back into the possession of the Coyotes. Gusty now down the right side, cutting to the middle on his backhand, has Hartman with him, who will glove it down, thrown on, and Jakemer able to paddle that one aside. Now up for grabs on the half wall. Brown will pick it up and look to go north with it. He'll just send it in deep. Shile racing there to get there first. Slid up the wall, but hemmed in there as the point at the point by Flanagan. But here comes Melissa the other way. Melissa has help with them. Smith shot on there by Melissa. Rebound in front. Opportunity. It's in.
Braden Martin cleaning up the mess out front off the rebound from Jakemer's pads. Swayed him there, and Jakemer just kind of left stranded there at his left post.
So an odd man rush and 2 shots back to back, and that big juicy rebound in the high slot for Braden Martin, who's able to put that one home. 1-0 Centennial early on, and a dominant start for them, out shooting the Huskies 4-0.
That's Martin's first goal of the season, too, so far, coming late.
First goal, second point in 12 games played. Always good to get that monkey off your back and get the first one out of the way.
100%.
He now looking to throw one on goal, but that's thwarted aside. Now battle ensues along the half wall. Martin comes away with it across the blue now. Brings it wide on Corbin Schaefer before sending it in deep. Ross now behind his own goal. He'll move it to the half wall, kicked right back to the middle. As that one slid up looking for Schaefer. But this one's going to go all the way down for icing. So Martin from Mark Melissa and Jack Smith to open the scoring. Melissa with his 15th point on the year. 5th assist for him as he is among the top. I believe that puts him in first on the team if he wasn't already. Draw to the right of Jake Murnau. One back by Hamilton. Still up for grabs. There's not a whole lot of flow to start this game. A lot of loose puck battles in both zones. Centennial now looking to set up on the half wall at Steele. Sent below the goal line. And now all the way up to the point for Foss. Tries to hammer it in deep, but Hamilton able to come the other way. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Dawson streaking far side in on goal, but that's out just over top there by Mello. Crawford now advances it to Steele. Steele driving with speed down the outside, puts his head down to the front. He put it just wide, rebounds there. But Jakemer able to keep it out off the side of the net and might be in. Some cheers, but I think that stayed out. Looked like it hit the side of the net and went to the back, but almost looked like it was tucked in the bottom there.
Thought we had a point at the goal, but maybe just waving it off. That one, a lot of traffic right around the cage.
Yeah, let's watch that again. I thought it went in, but
a lot of people did.
Yeah.
It was wet in the air. Started on the chance, and then there was another rebound opportunity from a tough angle.
yeah, bounced off the back of the net.
Kind of
Rippled the outside of the net.
and died in the back like it normally would have. It sure looked like it went in from the stands, but 1-0 still the score, as no goal will be the call. Ganesh on the draw against Mirage, stepping into one there.
That's Ben Snow, one of the D2 call-ups here for Centennial with a shot.
Snow slides one in front now. He's playing with Clayton and Guisti, I believe it is. And here's Mirage now throwing one of the Ernsberger and Jarvis. He lets one go off the pipe. Jarvis swiping at the rebound, but he couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, number 40, Daniel Juski, a D2 call-up here for Centennial. He's an offensive defenseman, has plenty of goals for the D2 team so far this year, and even has a goal and an assist so far for D1.
Goal and assist.
But 4 goals, 4 assists for the D2 team, which for a defenseman jumping in from the play like that is a pretty good number this way through the season.
I'd imagine a lot of call-ups for Centennial. Some people out for the Christmas break, but they have a pretty full bench. Hamilton, it was a shorter bench last night than they are tonight, but Coach Scott Schaefer does not tend to call anyone up for these games, trying to give his guys as many reps as possible. They do have a very young team that trying to build that core through experience. Back to Simon now. He'll collect and regroup. Trying to snap one ahead, but Jarvis gets a stick to it, but Ganesh able to glove that one down. Ganesh brings it across the blue line just offside, so we'll go back to center ice for a draw. 6 shots for Centennial to the 1 of Hamilton, as it has been all Coyotes through the first 4.5 minutes of this one. O'Sullivan on the draw against Jarvis. Jarvis wins it back for the Huskies. Move forward. Ganesh intercepts, trying to step around the man there. That was Frost on the defensive play, but he sends that one down for icing. So Hamilton's still unable to get anything going.
Yeah, tough luck icing call there. Just missed the stick by a matter of inches at the blue line. It could have led to a breakaway. I think that was Mirage there on the blue line.
Mirage is going to be that player to look out for the Huskies.
And
haven't had him for much of the year, only 9 games, but 16 points in those 9 games.
Wow. Looks like he's just going to try and play that role where he's just sitting right on the shoulders of the defenseman at the blue line, trying to make them make a choice on how they play him and see if he can spring through on a long pass ahead.
Played for AHSHA Perry last year before moving to play for Hamilton this year. He was as successful at AHSHA as he has been here, an all-star both years. Smith now looking to center one, but he's unsuccessful. It'll rattle its way right back to him on the half wall. He sends one down now for Martin, the lone goal scorer in this one so far. He's held to the wall by Frost. Martin able to cycle it down. Schaefer will shovel one around the end boards there. Hamilton trying to get this out of the zone. Melissa now with it. Slid to the high slot. Smith kicking one over. Shot on there by Martin, looking for his second of the night and second of the season, but Jakemer up to the task. Newhar with it now. He'll send it in deep. That's gloved down by Scott. That'll be his second save of the night, although from long range. Shile battling away. Melissa will back off, let Newton step into that one, but he'll turn back and look for more options. Melissa zip through the middle. Shile with it now down the right side. Left back behind. Shot on there. That's deflected out of play. That was Jackson Steele on the opportunity. So Centennial dominating possession through the first half of this period. Hamilton, coming off that big win, is struggling early here to get anything going offensively.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing from Centen is you're seeing them, that their defensemen stepping up into the offensive zone, especially when they're in the midst of a change. They'll step up into that winger slot and really cause problems when, Hamilton or any team thinks they've got a chance to just take a breather, and they're keeping that pressure on in the offensive zone.
Leading to those second chance opportunities, trying to drag out those long shifts from Hamilton, wear him down. Newton will take this one behind the trapezoid. Trying to step around one, he will, and he'll just scoot it forward. Stepping into that now is Mello. Trying to get across, but Foss is there to break that up. He'll move it ahead to Crawford. Crawford now walking in. He lets one go. Loose in the crease there. Jakemer thought he had it, but it squeaked through. And it's right back to Crawford in the high slot.
Goalie's worst nightmare there. You think you've got it in the trapper, but it's stuck just in your elbow and drops loose right at your feet.
Luckily for Jakemer, no blue jerseys there to pounce on it, but Dawson will pick it up in the corner now. Newton trying to give him a bump. Dawson walking in, trying to move it there to Kesselman, but unsuccessful. Now Janzik comes the other way with it. Trying to step around one, kick the side. Rebound chance there for a steal, but that was blocked by Flanagan. Now up to the point, thrown on. That's deflected as well. Sails over the top. Steele able to scoop it up in the corner. That's knocked off his stick there by Dawson, and high flipped all the way down. And back to get it is Simone for the Coyotes. Crawford waiting across the blue, but still just ahead of him and offsides with 7 minutes remaining in the opening frame. So it was Braden Martin who opened the scoring, just a minute 45 into this one, and scoreless since. The Centennial still leads 1-0 as the whistle's blown here as Hamilton's going to be kicked to the curb. I believe that was Jarvis who's being booted, and Mirage coming in relief.
Yeah, let that one be a little obvious there for the refs when you're, even with the other defender.
Ernsberger taking this one back to his own end. He has Flanagan with him, trying to move it to him, but coughs it up in front. Luckily, some support there from Anthony Brown. Flanagan now trying to zip one up, but Melissa intercepts. Now Melissa walking through the middle. Mark Melissa, Lodi scores! Mark Melissa doubles the Coyote lead. Low blocker on Jakemer. 2-0 Centennial.
Great goal from Melissa, but it all starts with a heads-up play to drift back with Mirage into the neutral zone. He intercepts that pass, then is able to step forward, make his way through a few Hamilton bodies, and fire blocker side.
Beautifully placed shot there on Jakemer, and looked like he caught Jarvis flat-footed there and just took 2 steps around him all alone in the high slot. Still only 1 shot for Hamilton, but here's a chance now for Ernsberger. Ernsberger on his back end, pulling to the front. Big save by Landon Scott. His first real test of the night, as Ernsberger was practically all alone. Mirage now kicks it to his stick. Tries to dance around one. Somehow still has it. Kicks it back. Throws one towards the far post, but just wide. Martin out through the middle. Sit. Up to Melissa. Melissa one-on-one. Stuck by Jakemer. Slams the 5-hole closed.
What a save on the breakaway.
So Jakemer says, anything you can do, I can do better. Scott with a big stop on Ernsberger at the other end. And then Melissa is on an island himself, but great job by Jakemer to close the wickets there and keep the Centennial lead at just 2. Gusek with it, moves it through the middle. He finds Newhauer. Newhauer moving to his right, has help with him. He'll throw it on, but that's right off the logo of Scott, and he will swallow that one up.
We'll go back to that save by Jakemer. He just keeps quiet feet, waits out Melissa, doesn't make a move, doesn't go early one side or the other, just forces Melissa to actually have to go straight down the middle, and he's there with the pads.
Newhauer cycling it up. Here comes the chance the other way. Hartman racing to get there. He'll be able to beat out the icing. Ganesh with him. Hartman throws one on front, but Jakemer's alert, able to get the blocker there and cover that one up, but looked like it was loose for a second. I don't think Jakemer was too happy with that poke you saw from Hartman after. I couldn't tell if that was friendly chatter or not, but definitely words exchanged. No, throws one on. That's snatched out by Jakemer again. We'll go right back to where we came from. Again, draw to the right of Jakemer. A toss up there goes in favor of Centennial. Here's Ganesh trying to let one go, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Newhauer flips one up in the air. Batting it ahead was Erickson, but couldn't find his partner. Sent right to the stick of Ganesh. Trying to snap one forward, coughed it up, but able to recover and send that one out. But now Mello will look to regroup. Sent far side. Ganesh again skating into it. Cutting to the middle now, but loses it once more. Here's a chance the other way. Newhauer. One man back for Centennial, thrown on. But Scott up to the task, and what a job by Scheil to get back for that one. Banging away at it along the wall, trying to move it ahead to Ganesh. But couldn't connect with him. Now Hamilton will go off the glass. Minogue with it now, thrown through the middle. Unable to catch it there was Cerami. Will now slide one far side. Newhauer trying to catch on his backhand, but stepping up on the play there was Minogue. Now O'Sullivan Has Ganesh with him. He'll throw one on, but that goes off the glass. Trading blows here. Last 4 minutes looming in this first period. Back to Newton. Foss will end up with it, as he'll feel some pressure, but a nice move to dance around the forechecker there. Chips around another. Ganesh picks it up on the wall, trying to sauce one all the way down. And it will go all the way down, but not for icing. Dawson with it. He moves it over to Sarami. Now Kesselman with it. Trying to throw one in front. Loose there for a moment, but right pad of Scott gets in the way, and he'll be able to get a whistle.
Definitely has that feeling of a game where just one goal can tip the momentum drastically in one way or the other, especially as we head into this final 3.5 minutes before the break.
And Hamilton got off to a very slow start, but starting to find their footing a little more early on in this one, and they have that top unit back out there with an offensive zone draw trying to create here. Steele rims it around, stepping up as Flanagan, who will be able to keep it alive, but Clayton all over him. Now Jarvis kicked out. Ernsberger lets one go. He scores!
Oh.
Short side high for Ernsberger, and he cuts the Centennial lead in half, 2-1.
We'll take a look at the replay here. Centennial not able to clear the puck. Ernsberger just gets that spot over the shoulder glove side. And just like we said, that next goal was going to be a lot of momentum. Hamilton's been on the front foot the last couple minutes, and now with a goal to show for it, even though they're down one.
Now looking to build on it as that one's thrown on, but a blocker save and a high rebound that flutters out of play. And with that goal, Sullivan Ernsberger now has 3 goals and 4 assists in his last 2 games. He had 6 points last night in a 6-1 win over Mountain Ridge. So that tells you what you need to know about his performance, as he contributed on every single goal scored.
Yeah, definitely somebody the Centennial defense needs to pick up on, realize, and really do their most to shut him down. Even if that means kind of cheating over against him and leaving somebody a little bit more space to work.
And a much different approach between these two teams. A lot of Centennial's top guys are spread out a little more between Ganesh, Melissa, Steele. Here's Steele with it now. He has a 2-on-1 with Crawford. Steele looks over, trying to find Crawford, but just out of his reach. But going back to that point, Hamilton has all their top guys on one line, and Jarvis, Ernsberger, and Mirage. Now thrown in front, opportunity for Crawford, but he put it wide. Dawson able to poke it all the way out. Simone will race back to get it. Kesselman trying to forecheck, wrapped around. Janzik can't corral it. Now Frost will fan keeping it in. Steele gives a bump on the wall. Crawford in a foot race now the other way. Krupski's back. Dawson's back as well. Steele with Crawford, but that one's sent around the end boards. Steele now dancing through center ice, but just coughs it up. He would have had a dangerous chance, and looks like he drew a penalty in the process. So we'll get our first power play of the game, and it'll go in favor of Centennial. Ross looks a little confused there on the call, but it looks like he just kind of got up in on the hands there and slowed Steele down just enough for the ref to notice it. But 2:08 remaining and 2 minutes on the power play for the Coyotes. Up the point, Melissa, quick shot, he scores! Right off the draw, Mark Melissa sends one through some traffic, and Centennial gets one right back on the power play.
Weren't wasting any time on that one, just 4 seconds off the clock on the power play, and Melissa restores that 2-goal lead.
Jakemer tried to kind of reach across his body there with the glove instead of just using the blocker.
It's that awkward high blocker side, right? Like when you, as a goalie, if you're trying to lift that, it's more shoulder than blocker, and trying to get your blocker around sometimes gets awkward.
But somehow Melissa able to squeak the third one through for the Coyotes' 4-goal first period. Same score we saw in last night's game between Bachelor Perry and Desert Vista, which ended 15-1. Melissa now to the front. Chance there. Big save by Jakemer as he's able to recover nicely after giving up one from the point. Sent far side, and that one's chipped in deep by Newhauer. Rimmed all the way and around. Martin can't hold on to it, and Gusek will throw one on. Pad save there by Scott. Out to the point. Flipped in there by Mello, but off sides. So 72 seconds remaining in the opening period. 3-1 the score in favor of Centennial, thanks to the latest goal from Mark Melissa, assisted by Terrence O'Sullivan, who took the faceoff.
Yeah, definitely set play, draw it right back to you kind of your biggest shooter on offense, and if he's got the space to work with, he can rifle that one through like he showed.
And we didn't get to see much of it, but I'd imagine that power play runs through him. Hernsberger curls up high, throws one on the backhand looking for Jarvis, but prowls off a couple of bodies. Now Hamilton offsides, they'll have to tag up. Mirage forcing some pressure, whistle blown for the intentional offsides there, and this one will go all the way back to Hamilton's defensive zone. So with 48 seconds left, the Coyotes have a chance to get another. Ganesh on the draw against Jarvis, and a big one in the final minute of this period. Up to the point, Shiles sends one through, but right into the barrel of Jakemer, who will get a whistle.
And like you said, that Centennial power play does run through Mark Melissa quite a bit. Usually he's coming off of kind of the side wall, stepping in and taking a shot from the circle. Not often that he's up there in almost the defensive lineup position and taking a shot from very high away.
Kept in by Minogue. 30 seconds remaining now, trying to create a last-ditch effort on both sides. Child will move it ahead to O'Sullivan. She goes back across now for Minogue. Minogue advances it, battling at the blue line now. Hartman and Jarvis going at it. O'Sullivan had it momentarily, but it's right back to Hartman now. 12 seconds remaining as time's dwindling down. Mirage will pick it up. Slid ahead to Mello. Mello now working through the middle. 4 seconds remaining. Needs to get a shot off. Everyone's yelling shoot. And an arm in the air. So Mello able to draw a penalty within those last seconds for a hook. And we'll go into the intermission and come back. And Hamilton will have a 2-minute power play. Very similar to the call that led to the Melissa goal, but
a little late, but you get the stick up for, horizontal like that, and you give the ref a decision to make, and you can't really argue when it goes against you.
They're calling it both ways, but 3-1 the score through one. We'll take a quick break and be right back here for the second. So 15 minutes in the rear view mirror and a 2-minute power play ahead for the Huskies, as heading to the box is going to be Ethan Scheil. He got 2 minutes for slashing right in the final seconds of that period. So maybe looking to get one back here and cut this lead back to one where they had it earlier. 3-1, the score through one in favor of Centennial, who has looked awfully good to this point.
I guess the only benefit, if you can even call it that, of taking a penalty at the end of a period like that is, with Schilly in the box, but the draw comes to center ice to start the next period. You don't have to take that defensive zone draw shorthanded.
To that note, Centennial able to win it back and shoot a couple seconds off the clock, but Cross now picks it up at the point. Sent through the seam, Ernsberger pulling, shooting, and that looked like Scott got a piece of it, but somehow it stayed out. have a look at it here. Zernsberger had a prime opportunity, and it looked like it just nicked off the crossbar there. Close call. Looking for a second of the night. First one came in a similar spot as well. Over to Krupski. Krupski lets one go. That looked like it might have gone in. It was awfully close, but no goal's the call.
Took a funny hop off the iron if that's what it hit. Usually it rebounds out a lot further than that.
Maybe a back bar. No replay review, obviously, in high school hockey, so no goal will be the call that stands. Hamilton will look to set up once more. Battling away in the corner now. Jarvis will send this one all the way around for Ernsberger to pick up. Slid up to the point. Newhauer keeps it in. Sends one on block there. Rebound to Moraga. Oh, somehow kept out. As Scott made a sprawling save to his right.
Let's watch that earlier save.
Got a look at that shot from the point that was in question. And can't really tell. It looks like it went off the crossbar, but Scott able to get to that second one as well. So half the power play gone for Hamilton, and they remain scoreless. Had a couple of those close ones that we've been able to tell whether they're goals or not. We've been able to overturn a couple calls ourselves, but whatever the call on the ice is always stands.
I will say, if I'm Coach Drinkhouse on the bench, I'm not happy with how that first minute of the penalty kill went. Too much time in the zone, not enough just trying to get the puck out. When they did win that faceoff, they were just keeping it in deep, trying to be a little bit cute with it and keep possession. Just pump it down the ice, make Hamilton work back 200 feet.
Mirage from an off angle throws one off the glass, and that'll roll up to the point. Krupski trying to keep it alive, but unable to. And going back to that penalty kill, Centennial's penalty kill is the best in AHSHA, tied with Basha in first place, only allowing 7 goals this year, second in percentage at a tick over 81. But with 5 seconds remaining, they're going to get away with a successful kill here, despite a couple of chances from Hamilton. Mirage trying to kick one backside for Jarvis, couldn't find him. Here's Ernsberger behind the goal. Working up to the point, trying to throw one through traffic, but unsuccessful. Steele and him now in a foot race. Steele can't hold on to the puck, but Melissa picks up the slack. Kicked out, Steele looking, shot, glove save, Jakemer, as he didn't have to move much. Hit him right in the glove there, and he'll get a draw to the left of him. A good chance straight off the penalty kill.
Yeah, Melissa hopping over as Chili made his way to the bench. One of the few times we'll see both him and Steele on the ice together. It doesn't happen very frequently. Again, trying to spread out those kids from the same travel team so that you're not missing an entire line when they have their, weekends away.
It's a smart move by Caleb Drinkhouse, who came into this program, won a state championship a couple of years ago, and he's kind of set that standard that this team can win any year. Went to the quarterfinals last year. But definitely a lot of new success has been found from Centennial. Went from one of the worst teams in the league and a D2 team at one time to state champions. Giles sauces one over to Minogue. Minogue through the seam, he finds Ganesh. We'll take it in now, pulling, shooting, glove save. Jakemer up in the air, bouncing puck in front. Schaefer able to get it out of harm's way, but Centennial will hold on to it. Ganesh now loses it, O'Sullivan picks it up. O'Sullivan cutting them in a looking 5-hole rebound there for Hartman. Jakemer says no. Schaefer poking away out of this one, rattling around to the far side now. Giles sends it in deep, but Mello picks it up. Trying to send a stretch pass forward there for Newhauer. Now Ganesh stepping into one in the neutral zone. He'll cut to the middle. Pulls around one. Nice move. He'll hold on to it as well as he'll send that one in deep. Mello with it. O'Sullivan giving him some pressure as he forces a turnover. On the feet, Gusek able to send it up. Newhauer looking through the middle, trying to find Mello, but it'll kick back to Schaefer. Now Mello with it. He'll bring it across the blue line and start the rush here for the Huskies. They still trail by 2. Kesselman now centering pass there in front, but Scott able to cover that one up. It was Cerami all alone, and I don't think he was ready for it.
Just got a little bit as he was skating away, but also had Scott kind of moving from his right to his left and just long enough on the pads to be able to beat that one out.
And he got a good swipe in there at it, but unable to get all of it as Scott had a rather easy save on the changeup. Foss all the way around to Snow. Thrown through the middle, Clayton in his feet, but he'll be able to get it to his stick. Trying to pressure Brown. Brown comes away with it. Smith will lay a hit along the wall, and Newton will take this one back to regroup. Now ping forward. Brown moves it ahead to Cerami, who will dump it in deep. Dawson looking to get in on the forecheck. Now battling along the half wall. Kesselman with it momentarily. Foss in there as well as a couple bodies swipe away in the corner. Foss comes away with it. Clayton with it now. Moving down the left side on his backhand. Trying to fend off a couple of defenders. Cerami swiping as well. Flanagan will zip one ahead now for Dawson. Dawson out wide. Foss on his hip. Trying to cut through a couple, but the blue jersey's getting away. Flanagan able to keep it in at the point, and he'll go all the way to the far side. Kesselman throws one in front, but no white jerseys there, and Foss will just elect to send it down for icing and get a change as that Centennial unit was at the end of a long shift.
At the end of a long shift, you've got the long change. You know, sometimes it's just best to drop it down deep, get a stoppage, reset things a little bit, get some fresh legs out on the ice.
It's one of the nice things about AHSHA compared to NHL hockey and NCAA hockey, where if you ice it, you can't change, but able to just send it down and get some fresh legs out there in high school hockey. Hamilton trying to set up, but Centennial not having it. Here's Jackson Steele the other way. Makes a move around one. Steele cutting to the front of his backhand off the side of the net. Second time this game it's gone off the side, and some people have thought it's gone in. Now Mirage trying to move it for Ernstberger, but didn't lead him enough, and able to get in the way there was Gusti.
It's a good defensive play by Mirage, too. Down in deep, Saber Crawford was lining up a shot from a sharp angle, and he just poked it just enough off his stick to where he fanned on it.
Still looking from behind the net here, as he'll move it up to Jancek. Looking through the seam out. Crawford streaking to that far post, but couldn't find him. Ernstberger now moving into his left. He pulls a trigger, but that's blocked. A huge eat there from Gusti, who's at a real solid defensive shift. Crawford now lays a hit. That was sent in deep by Frost. And now Crawford will pick this one up. Has Steele north of him. Tries to flutter one to him, but Jakemer will pick it up. Trying to play it forward. He'll make a miraculous pass to Mirage. Ernstberger now trying to find Jarvis on the trailer there, but that'll skitter away from him. Now here's Steele the other way. Crawford at the end of a long shift. Tired legs out there. And a glove save by Jakemer on a good shot from Jackson Steele, but you have to think if Saber Crawford wasn't at the end of his shift there, they would have had a 2-on-0 and probably a goal.
Yeah, that happens at the end of a long shift, but a great glove save from Jakemer and that pass earlier to try and spring an offensive opportunity. You know, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, you're looking at the wrong side of that puck coming right back at you, but he feathered that one right through everyone and out to his, his offenseman.
That was one of the more impressive passes I've seen from a goalie. And here, Centennial wins the draw. Look to set up. Schile throws one to the near board. Martin will pick it up. Smith now trying to go low to high, but Newhauer able to get a stick to it. Corbin Schaefer gets his pocket picked. A little squeak back to Guzik, who will just send this one all the way down for icing. Corbin Schaefer out there right now. His brother, Caden Schaefer, joining them on the bench today. Not a normal face, but I'd imagine he's home for the holidays as he is a Hamilton alumni. Played there for 4 years. Graduated last year. Part of a team that went to the semifinals before falling to Pinnacle 3-1. Here's a chance the other way. Newhauer is going to step into him. He has help with him. Erickson was there, but they couldn't connect. Now Melissa coughs it up. Moved down to Newhauer. Battling in the corner. A couple bodies are tied up behind that. Shao look to pick up the loose puck, and he will. Move to Martin now. Slid through the middle. Good look there. He found Smith. Was looking to get the red line and get it deep. And he'll just send a soft one down and take a hit. Now Melissa giving a hit on the forecheck as him and Mello go at it in the corner. Now Schaefer with it. Melissa walking to the front, but a good defensive play there by Gusek. Picked out. Here's Erickson down the right side. Throws one on, but that's wide. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Arm in the air now as there was some shots thrown along the half wall. It looks like a tripping call, but it sounded a little heavier than that. So it's going to go on Hamilton, it looks like. So we'll see if we have a good angle out of here. Melissa was one involved as he laid a hit along the wall. Maybe they're getting him for a slew foot there, but it's going to be Newhauer going to the box for tripping.
Took the hit and then just kind of dragged him down on top of him.
Hartman trying to set up this Centennial power play. They had one attempt earlier and scored in 4 seconds.
So already off to a better start.
Moved up. Ganesh at the point. He's able to keep it in. Sent down to steal. All the top dogs out for the Coyotes now. Hartman on the right flank. Zips one through to Melissa, trying to find that seam pass, but off his skate. Now hustling to get out of Ernstberger, but a good pinch there by Ganesh. Ganesh now back in the neutral zone. 4 Coyotes to the left of him. None on the side he was trying to go up. Now Ganesh will take it across himself. Looking to set up here. Hartman moved down. Ganesh finds Steele. He put it just wide. Great look there from Ganesh. Steele got a good piece of lumber on it too, but couldn't find his mark. Melissa posted up on that left side. Over to Ganesh. Sends one through traffic, but that's blocked just wide. Now Hartman up to the point. Ganesh looking to the back door. Bump to the bumper there. O'Sullivan lets one go and he scores. O'Sullivan from the high slot, 2 for 2 on the power play are the Coyotes, and they lead by 3. 4-1's the score.
He almost lost the handle on it there off the pass, had to regather. And at that point, I think Jakemer, anticipating that first shot, got splayed a little bit, and Sullivan just found a spot 5 hole to increase the lead there with their second power play goal of the night.
And a beautifully executed 1-3-1 there. Using that low seam pass with Melissa on that left flank to draw those D-men down, and that opened up O'Sullivan in the high slot in that bumper spot right in the middle. And he had more than enough time, even though he did almost cough it up. Now Centennial sending it in deep, looking to get right back to work as Clayton will come hammering it in. Krupski battling away. Dawson will chip it out. Kesselman is there, but Newton wins the foot race. But now here's Centennial with a chance the other way. Thrown in front, rebounds there. Scott able to swallow that one up. Just thrown in front there by Cerami, who's had a couple of opportunities. But a good job by Scott to pounce on that rebound.
And a good forecheck right from the blue line as well. You can see they're able to keep the puck in. They get it deep, have the shot, and through a little bit of traffic. And someone there, if Scott doesn't drop the glove right over top of that puck.
12 saves on 13 shots for Scott. 21 shots for the Coyotes as they are firing on offense and special teams that proved to be important. Smith bringing it wide. Krupski strips it away from him. Now Cerami down the right side. Moving through the neutral zone. He'll snap one far side to Kesselman. Slid to the high slot, but a good back check there. Snow to take that away. Smith over to Snow. Lets one go. Rebound was there, but no blue jerseys in sight. Snow battling away. He'll pick it up in the corner. Throw it in front to Smith. But he put it wide, but right back to Snow as Centennial continues their onslaught. Cerami trying to shovel one out, but can't. Battling away along the blue line. Simone has it tied up there. Hamilton trying to get it out, but a good job by Simone to keep that one alive. He had some help from Snow there as well, and Smith. Krupski now will pick up a loose puck and take it back to his own end. Here's Frost. Frost off the skates there of Cerami. And he'll move one far side. This one's to Dawson in the high slot. Dawson tries to let one go. Blocker save by Scott. Dawson still with it in the corner. He's shadowed closely. Thrown to the front there, but Simone able to get a skate to it. Now here's an opportunity the other way. Janzik trying to fly down. Crawford there as well. Steele trailing. Crawford. Good back check though by Kesselman to take it away. Strami sends one down. Back check there by Gusti to strip that one aside as well. So both teams kind of jockeying for possession here. No one can really find it. 2 minutes remain in the second period. That was a nice move by Janzik in the corner as he'll move it to Steele. Poke forward for Saber Crawford. Crawford has Steele with him. Throws one on off the back net. Oh, off the post. Rebounds there. They score.
Thought they had the first one with Steele, but then Harrison Wood cleans it up on the back post. Caught Jake Murray. He had no chance.
I'm not sure if that was intentional from Saber Crawford, but if it was, that is an incredibly impressive pass. It looked like somebody got a stick to him on the shot.
That was a great save, actually, from Jake Murray to keep the shot from Steele out. Full stretch with the glove hand. Got a huge chunk of it, kept it out. Unfortunately, it was Wood right there on the back post. I think.
Nobody able to pick up that third guy trailing, and it was Janzik who was able to put it home. Last time these two teams met, Centennial won 6-3, so close to matching their last goal mark against Hamilton. Ernsberger driving wide, trying to find one in the high slot for Mirage, but unsuccessful. 90 seconds remaining in the middle period.
You're talking about the things about AHSHA that you like the most. I think for me, it's the parity between these teams, right? You had Hamilton last night, ran out 6-1 winners against currently the third place Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions team. Today they come in and, Centennial had a rough time last night with Notre Dame, and they're shook that off, and they're all over the Huskies here through 2 periods.
It's any given day here in AHSHA, especially this year, and what has been much funkier year than normal. The difference between Pinnacle, who right now is the first team out of the top 4 in Flagstaff, is, I believe, 10 points. So quite a gap between those top 4 teams and the bottom 4, but there's been close games all around the league. Notre Dame's been tested. Mountain Ridge has been tested. Chaparral, who is at the bottom of the standings, has tested a lot of those teams, and it's been a year full of parity for sure.
Just never know. And then you look at the D2 standings, and with 4 games to go, literally 1 through 8, there's enough points to play for still, where the last place team could finish first before the playoffs.
Hamilton looking for one in the last 30 seconds here, trying to find some type of life, as they've been getting thumped in this middle frame. Mirage from an off angle, but Scott able to get there, and he'll get the rebound and cover as well. Those first round buys are important, but a lot of interesting matchups could be popping up in the quarterfinals because of them. And a lot of these teams, like a Centennial, like a Hamilton, like a Chaparral, who are going to have to play in these play-in games, could be serious threats to upset the top 4 teams in those quarterfinal games.
Well, like you said, right now, just 2 points separating these two teams. What is separating them is that play-in game. If the playoffs started today, it would be Hamilton in the play-in round, and it would be Centennial going straight through to the first round.
So Hamilton trying to get a last-ditch effort. No arms in the air there. Everybody wants a trip. Here's Ganesh the other way. Time winding down. 5 seconds remaining. Driving wide. Right to the front. Ganesh. Big save. Rebounds there. But Hartman couldn't get any of it. Another chance at the last second. As O'Sullivan threw one to the front. I think Jakemer thought the buzzer was off.
Hit him in the skate. He didn't see it coming, and it just clips the blade of his skate there.
He had just picked up his stick. Looked to just like trying to settle in and reposition. But heads up play from Terrace O'Sullivan. 5-1 the score. A monster second period from Centennial to pull away. We will have a quick break and return here in just a minute. So 15 minutes remaining. Hamilton needs to score 4 to find their way back into this one. And imagine to see the 3 guys you see out there on forward for them out for a lot of this period, Mirage, Ernsberger, and Jarvis. That one sent down for icing by Mirage, and right off the hop here, Centennial will get an offensive zone drop.
I think the other thing for Hamilton is to just keep an eye on keeping their heads. You can see there at the end of the second period, there was a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle, after the horn. The last thing they can have right now is to go back on the penalty kill. They've already given up 2 power play goals, but just playing a man short when you're chasing 4 goals would be devastating.
And Centennial hasn't had a lot of power play opportunities. Have scored the 6th most goals in AHSHA, but have the 3rd best percentage. In the front, Jarvis had an opportunity there, but Scott able to get in front of that one.
Yeah, good play by Juice. He got his stick in the way, kept Jarvis from getting that clean shot off right out front.
Draw to the right of Scott now. Centennial just trying to hold on for 14 and a half more minutes, but can't play with the lead, have to play to grow it. Ganesh will look to do that here. Ganesh streaking down the right side, driving to the blue paint, and he put it just wide.
What a step off the face-off just to go through the entire Hamilton team and get into the offensive zone.
He is one of the best skaters on this Centennial squad. He can fly. Neuhauer, centering pass. Chance in front, Erickson, he's stowed by Scott with the glove. There's a huge opportunity for Erickson there. He was one-on-one from the high slot, but Scott up to the task. So right back to a defensive zone draw. Fresh legs for this Centennial squad. Same 3 for Hamilton. As Schaefer will take the draw against Smith. One back by Smith. Boss will knife it to Newton, who will rim it all the way around. Flanagan can't keep it in, though. But now the other way come the Coyotes. Smith stepping into one, but just off sides there. taking away a possible 3-on-2 from Centennial.
Yeah, back to that previous save, Landon Scott, not the biggest goalie out on the ice, but he does know how to position himself well. He came out, he was actually past the red at the top of his crease to make himself as big as he could and cut down that angle on that shot.
Goaltending, one of the determining factors in almost every game here in AHSHA. As Scott will just cover this one up, and come playoff time, it's often if your goaltending can get the job done in those low-scoring, high-intensity games, you have a good chance to win.
We saw it with Pinnacle making their run to the championship last year, how much of a difference goaltending can make.
Mark Michelson, who got the starting job for the playoffs that year. He was the D2 call-up, and Flanagan lets one go. Club save there by Scott, fully stretched. Great job to track that one through the traffic and somehow gets him into it, but Mickelson was the D2 call-up, didn't play as much as Ben Stanger all year long, and lit it up in the playoffs, allowed, I believe it was 2 goals throughout all the playoffs.
It was very few. It was definitely fun to watch as a fan of goaltending.
You look at the best goalies in the league, and I think the 2 favorites are Caden Wright at Notre Dame and Austin Gearhart at Basha. As that one's backhanded in, oh my goodness! Wow. Noah Dawson goes far south, cutting the lead back down to 3 is Hamilton, trying to claw their way back into this one.
Got out front. It looked like he'd gotten his stick trapped down to the ice, able to get himself free and then lift that one up over Scott.
And an unsuspecting play. It would have been a tough one for anyone to score, but a great job. And Scott has been pulled from the game now. So coming in now is Caden Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson hasn't played as many games as Scott has here at D1. But numbers-wise, he's an 8.67 save percentage, just over 4 on the goals against. He and Braden Hubler in D2 for Centennial, the top 2 goalies in terms of your regular D2 rostered goalies in the entire division, both playing on the same team.
Mirage with it now. Very similar numbers to Scott, actually, as Ernsberger will bring this one in. Ernsberger backhand to the high slot. Jarvis trying to get an early shot here on Thompson, trying to catch him cold. Stepping into one now. Ernsberger trying to slide one to Mirage, but couldn't find his stick. Good defensive effort there by Janzik. Mirage now back over Ernsberger. Mirage, big save there by Thompson. Goosey trying to get it out. Mirage in front. One touch to Ernsberger. Slid back to him as this line is humming right now.
Yeah, they've got the Coyotes pinned deep in their zone, unable to get out, unable to really even get past the high slot.
Steele finally able to collect it, and he'll be able to get it out to Janzik. Moved ahead to Crawford. Crawford wires one on, glove down by Jakemer, who's going to play it.
Yeah, why not? Keep the puck moving, keep your skaters on the front foot, get back to that offensive zone, see if you can get another goal quick.
Reminded me of Mike Smith there, gloving that one down and trying to dish it forward. He was one of the best puck players as Mirage gets tied up with Foss, and he'll touch up now. But Centennial to the power play. They're 2 for 2 tonight, and they're going to look to keep that power play buzzing here on the 3rd attempt.
Yeah, just a little tie up there at the blue line as he got the stick up into the waist area, and that's going to send Mirage to the box for 2 there on the hooking call. And for the Coyotes, they're going to hope, let's make it 3 for 3. Let's put the lead back up to 4. Give ourselves a little more breathing room. The last thing you want to do is get that closer and closer, especially the goalie that just hopped up off the bench here a minute ago.
Huge kill for Hamilton. Melissa shot on. That was a similar shot to where he scored from on the first power play right off the draw. And Hamilton needs a kill, the worst power play, or penalty kill rather, in AHSHA. At a 68% clip. Need to find a way to get it done here in a big moment in this game. Steele from below the goal line. Moved up along the wall. Though Sullivan has it now. Over to Steele looking for the backdoor pass, but couldn't find it. Now Newhauer hammering down on Ganesh. It's up for grabs. O'Sullivan comes away with it, tries to step around one, but it's some good pressure there by Erickson, who will send it in deep. Ganesh will pick it up. Melissa posted up in front of him. That'll open up the ice for Ganesh to skate, but again, good job by these two forwards, Newhauer and Erickson, to squeeze off the Centennial rush. Far side now, Hartman picks up a skittering puck. Pulling it to his forehand now. He walks in, tries to dish one back door. He had Melissa there, but put it just too far in front of him. Melissa now through the seam, over, and a big save there on Hartman as Jakemer got the left pad there in time. Again through the seam, Melissa tries to let one go, but a big defensive stick by Guzik as Centennial is just going wire to wire through this Hamilton penalty kill right now. 30 seconds remain for them to try and get one.
That was a huge job by Erickson and Newhauer, like you said, keeping things plugged up in the neutral zone and just not letting things move freely in where you get that odd man rush.
I'd say that Hamilton should realize now that Centennial is trying to work it through those seams that Jakemer moved in, as they zipped it through about 3 times there just on that shift alone. Luckily that Jakemer was able to anticipate that and come across. Newton will pick it up now. He'll move it below the goal line. Up to the half wall. Crawford has it. Same setup for the second unit. He'll throw one on. He scores! Saber Crawford throws one from the left flank off the blocker of Jakemer and in. 6-2 Centennial. They're 3 for 3 on the power play.
Yeah, definitely the difference maker of the game. You can see it looked like Jakemer had everything covered and just over the pads, under the blocker. Difficult spot, but again, 3 for 3 on the power play. In a 6-2 game, obviously a huge difference maker.
If no penalties were called, it'd be a 1-goal game right now.
Wow.
Dawson will pick it up. He has the latest Hamilton goal as he tries to dance through a couple unsuccessfully. Farson now Krupski with it. Sends one through, but that's gloved nicely down by Caden Thompson. So draw will go to the left to him. That's his first save of the game. As he came in almost immediately, Centennial went to the power play. Minot, Grimson around. Frost unable to keep it in. Snow now trying to pop a stick, but it'll end up with Krupski. Kesselman across the blue. Child stepping up. He wanted to lay a hit, but couldn't get there in time. Dawson to Cerami. Battling for it. Dawson still poking away at it as he holds on somehow. Dawson lets one go. Glove save there by Thompson as Dawson was looking for his second.
He spun it in a nice little bit of open space there. Right at the top of the circle, stepped away from Snow coming down. Fired one. Thompson just flashes the leather.
Nice little deception there from Dawson to fake that pass up to the point. Got Snow to bite. Opened up that ice on the high slot for him. One back to Ernsberger, but Hartman with a phenomenal read. Now here's Ganesh. Ganesh powering forward, but great back check there by Krupski to break it up. Frost sent over to Krupski once more as he'll move it to Ernsberger. Mirage trying to zip one through, but it works in his favor as he coughs it up. Ernsberger, Ganesh hammering in on these defense again, and here he is once more. Has O'Sullivan with him. 3-on-1 for Centennial. Hartman behind him. Sauced over to O'Sullivan. Kick to the back door. 6-by-4. Beautiful goal for Ganesh.
Just a lot of tic-tac-toe, and I know Jakemer's down, kind of dreading that one, but I don't think there's anything more he could have done. He has the puck covered. They're outnumbered. Nobody's back on the last guy on the far post, and Jakemer's, he's got to play the puck in that spot, right? He's got to cut off the initial shot and let his defense come in and clean up the other guys. And
Ganesh on the initial sauce pass to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan somehow got it back to him, but pretty well played by Jakemer all in all. And Centennial, by no means was that a perfectly executed 3-on-1, but somehow able to get the job done. Now Jackson Steele walking in, trying to add to this lead. That is now 5 goals at 7-2.
But it's just some of that consistent pressure, right? We saw it. Krupski had the poke check on Ganesh down here at this end. Ganesh skates back to the back check, gets a poke check to spring that play free initially as well. So it's just, all these kids just putting their heads down, playing hard for 45 minutes and not letting up.
And that's what Centennial has done all night long, bending this Hamilton defense until they've broken. And this offense has been very potent tonight. Steele trying to add. Moving to the right side now. He'll take this one behind the net. Thrown in front, up in the air. It's loose in the crease. It was on the doorstep, but Janzik couldn't find it. Minogue sends one to the boards. He'll skate into it. Thrown on, but that's deflected into the netting and out of play.
The scoring for Centennial has been kind of what we talked about when we started this broadcast, right? Spread out amongst players. Martin had the first one. Melissa's got a pair. Then you've got O'Sullivan. You've got Janzik. You've got Crawford. You've got Ganesh. So all 7 goals scored by 6 different players. So really spreading that offense out and not just containing it to one line or one player.
And we also talked about earlier Hamilton coming off that 6-1 win against Mountain Ridge and how that is parity in this league. And if you look to the rink across from us, the game that just ended, Pinnacle just took down Mountain Ridge by the same score, and that one's in as Simone is able to trickle one through Jakemer, and the clock is now on run time.
Simone, another kid you like to see get a goal. A game like this, he's worked really hard defensively. We had him down here in front of us just battling for a puck for almost 30 seconds straight, just not letting Hamilton get clear of the offensive zone for Centennial. And, as a call-up to get another goal here at D1 level is great.
So his 6th game played at D1, his 2nd goal, which is a pretty solid notch for a defenseman. Simone with it now. He'll send it far side to Snow. Snow slid ahead to Smith as he tries to cut through a couple of white jerseys. Battling in the corner now. That one pops up. Melissa tried to glove it down, but unsuccessful. Now Gusti trying to step into one, but can. Maybe an odd man rush here the other way. Dawson trying to power ahead, but good back check there by Gusti to get back as he was up in the play. Dusak sends one through, glove save there by Thompson. That one careens into the corner. Now Kesselman will pick it up. Taken off his stick by Simone, who's having a great shift with a goal and a couple takeaways as well. Here he is again with it. That one taken away from him, though, as Dawson looked to get it on the attack.
Gets it right back, gets it out of the zone. Let Centennial try and reset a little bit here.
Now moved ahead. Here's a chance. Snow trying to leave it behind for Melissa, but not on the same page there. Now Kesselman trying to muscle it forward, but he can't get around Melissa. Smith stepping up. He took a bump there from Mello, who came up with a head full of steam. Just 5 minutes remain here in the final period, and it'll be 5 minutes exactly as it is running clock. Dawson throws one on, covered up by Thompson. He'll just get a whistle and let that clock eat its way down. So, Mountain Ridge, 2 losses in 2 days, and now Flagstaff is hot on their heels as well. 3 points behind them, which is a win and a fair play point, as Basha overtook them last night and then claimed another win today to add some cushion. Ganesh waltzing his way into the zone, looking backdoor for Clayton, but couldn't get his stick on the ice. Good job there by Krupski to tie him up. Boss back in his own end. Moved ahead, couldn't find anyone. He had Martin and Ganesh there, but neither of them able to get a stick. This one will go all the way back.
I just threw all the traffic and bring it back down.
It's been a good holiday hockey weekend for Centennial to pick up this win. Both these teams will be at 1-1 now on the weekend. So that one's sent through and it's in. Kroopsy fired one through some traffic and somehow found its way through the legs of Caden Thompson, digging a little bit into a large lead.
Yeah, I don't think he saw that one till it was late on its way to him as that went through traffic. There's, yeah, right there, Jarvis with a big screen right out front at the top of the crease and taking the eyes of the goalie away.
So maybe some last-minute efforts from Hamilton stop line. Here's Ernsberger with it now. She'll try and dish one in the backhand, but Ganesh it intercepts. Now Ganesh cutting into the offensive zone. He sails one over top of the net. Hamilton looking to go the other way as Mirage will headman the rush, but three blue jerseys smother him and strip it away. Ganesh walking to the middle. He lets one go off the boards. Rebound was there, but sits on the back of the net. 2.5 remaining now. So the last slot. Hartman lets one go. Glove save there by Jake Merck. So the two teams separated by a couple points in what was a big game to determine who is going to get a play-in bye and who isn't. Centennial, assuming they stay with their fair play point in this last 2 minutes, will move to 31 points on the year, and Hamilton will get 1 point for fair play if they get it and move to 27. Keeping that same gap. 2 more points added. So Centennial would have a 4-point cushion for a bye. Jose just offsides there.
And that 4-point difference means a lot when you're talking about that fair play point, right? Not taking penalties, not getting the unsportsmanlike on the coach or out in the stands or what have you. But that means each game can be worth up to 3 points. So having a 4-point lead gives you that kind of 1 game cushion if we were talking baseball and being ahead.
Well, and you look at the impact those fair play points can have. Chaparral is the most penalized team in the league. And they have the same record as Centennial with 1 more game played. Centennial will have 1 more win after this as compared to a tie. And Chaparral is in last, Centennial's in 6th.
Yeah, they make a big difference just throughout the course of that 20-game season, right? That's 20 points to play for. That's 10 wins. That's huge.
Can be the difference between playing one of the top teams in the first round, having that last change in your play-in game maybe, but it can really determine seasons. But Centennial is going to be able to walk away with 3 of them tonight, and 3 key ones as we are late in this season. Newhauer with 15 seconds remaining. He'll bring it in. Makes a nice move to the front. There for Thompson, who pokes it away. Arm in the air, though. We'll have a penalty. Not that it'll matter. 5 seconds of running clock. And that'll do it in this one. 8-3 win for Centennial in dominant fashion. Special teams tell the story. 3 for 3 on the power play for them, as their percentage is only going to go up, sitting at 3rd in the league now. And Hamilton's penalty kill sitting at last is only going to go down. Matt, what are your takeaways from this one?
Yeah, I think the power play really getting that running, and with all their team members back, right? They're missing a few names, but when they've got everybody back in town, what is this team going to look like? Because what's it going to look like come end of January, early February when we're in the playoffs over at Mullet? And for Centennial, you have to like what you see today. You had 8 goals from 7 different goal scorers. You had 3 power play goals on 3 tries, and you only took really the 1 penalty. You had the one, yes, at the very end of the game, but they didn't have to serve it. So only taking 1 penalty, also a huge lift for Coach Drinkhouse and his team.
So a big win for Centennial, but that's not all we have here tonight. Some D2 action coming at you guys after this. Campo Verde and Mountain Ridge facing off, but for myself, Easton Stockford, Matt Shepard, alongside me, and of course, Dr. Ben at the 6. We thank you guys for tuning in. 8-3, your final score from the I-10 Scottsdale Centennial Coyotes claim the W.
And for those that are watching, new link. This one will end. Hop off and hop on the new link. Subscribe for notifications. Thanks for watching.